Hey guys, what's up? It's ItsArchxn here, and today we're going to be playing some high-pixel Bed Wars. So today's video is going to be recorded a little differently than what I usually do. Usually I would record audio when I'm playing the game, but today I thought I'd take a different approach to what I usually do. Today I'm going to be trying to do some more tips and tricks, and this is probably one of the best games I've played in Random Forest, and I'd like to show it off and give some tips to people who want to get better at the game. Before the video actually begins with the tips and tricks, I'd like to apologize for the lack of video uploading. I was a little bit sick, and then this weekend I had an event in a different country, so we had to drive out, and it took a while, but I'm finally back. I couldn't actually upload or even just record some Bed Wars to do voiceovers for because I was pretty jam-packed with things to do. So I'm finally back, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video. So the first thing I'd like to mention when being successful in Bed Wars is to always learn how to speed bridge, ninja build, or even incline speed bridge. Those are all really helpful tools when you're playing Bed Wars, as they get you places a lot faster, and surprisingly the majority of people don't know how to speed bridge or ninja bridge, whatever you want to call it, and it's probably one of the most useful tactics I know just to play Bed Wars alone. Another example of a type of bridging is shown right here, as I jump up and rapidly click just to place blocks behind me, and the one that I just did right there, that's just regular ninja bridging inclined. But right before it, I was just jumping up, not necessarily making a staircase, but just getting myself up and at a slight angle. In a second here, I'm about to do something that I like to call diagonal blocking, and it's where you can either trap them and make them lag back because of your blocks, or you can actually make them fall into the void if they're a little bit clumsy. And it's a great tactic. It allows people to get a good angle on when you want to hit, and then also trick people into making you think that you're about to attack. Also, another good thing to always learn how to do and practice is to clutch blocks sometimes. As you could just see, I accidentally fell off, and then I quickly placed a block to save myself. Another example is to always use the height to your advantage, even though some people may know that having the height is actually a disadvantage because you have less of a range, but it can be really helpful to hit getting sneak attacks, and also make it so you can knock them off really easy with crits. The next and probably easiest thing to do on this list is to make sure you know where you're always going to buy and how much iron or gold you need. As you could have seen right there, I bought some wool, a TNT, and some tools and a stone sword, and you should always know what you need and how much you need to buy it. Like, I know for a fact that I need 62 iron and 8 gold just to get some TNT, a pickaxe, stone sword, and some wool. And it's always good to know this because when you're starting off a game, you don't want to be guessing around and having to jump back and forth between the shop and the generator. Also, make sure to use TNT to your advantage in sky bridging. It's underrated and sometimes can be a little bit cheap, but it's always a good way to take out enemy beds because it's so effective and it's hard to break. The next thing you need to know is to never be afraid to do some extra PvP that you may not be willing to do, but it could be good. The risk is always there, but when you do get those nice combos in, it feels really good, and it's always well worthwhile. The next thing you should probably know if you're playing some team games rather than solo is don't camp the generator and hog the loot. You always want to go and maybe grab a stone sword if you can, and maybe 16 or 32 wool, and rush people. There's no point in getting a ton of loot and wasting a lot of time and then going into attack and then maybe even realizing that you can't even do anything. To go along with what I just said, you never get a penalty for dying, but you always get a bonus for getting kills, and you always want to go for the kills even when they have better loot than you. If you can just whack them out with some good PvP combos, you always want to go for it because it's definitely well worthwhile, and it feels really good when you can beat somebody who has better gear than you. My next tip, or rather trick, is when you think you have worse gear, always gonna try to outsmart the team like I tried to do there, but I ran out of wool. I might have been able to block them off from where they were coming from and got a little chip in their bed, if not the entire thing. And you always want to try to outsmart people because it can be a foolproof way to get easy kills and not risk too much of your life. This clip right here demonstrates how you really don't need that much good loot to do a lot in the game. Right here, I only have the basic tools. I bought some tools at the start, which doesn't really count, I think. But I only have some wool, like only 10 pieces of wool, tools, and some stuff. So all you need is this, and I try to block myself in, quickly go down. I didn't have the wood in my hotbar, but I blocked myself off, and I broke inside the bed defense with ease. There's no need for excess tools and all of the special equipment unless they have like obsidian or something that requires it. Obviously TNT and fireballs and diamond pickaxes are all really convenient, but sometimes it's better just to go for the wooden tools just because it's the big setback from the amount of materials you have to use, and also it can be just way more fun and entertaining just to outsmart your opponents just by using regular tools. The next thing I think everyone should know about Bed Wars is bows may seem like the best thing to get, but oftentimes people will think it's disrespect. They're expensive. No one really likes a bow spammer in Bed Wars. They refer mostly to PvP based games, and just don't buy a bow, guys. It's a waste. Like the bow I got in this game, I swear I got it from somebody dropping it, and it was completely legit. There's no point in spending a ton of gold on this one. You could spend like TNT, iron armor even. Like literally anything else would be way better than getting a bow and arrows. Although I did say not to go all out most of the time, sometimes it is fun to get all your loot and maybe like drink some potions and throw an ender pearl and spam stuff at the other opponents when it's the right time. Most of the time it's not practical and a waste of resources, but here it was the end of the game and spamming iron golem seemed like a pretty good idea to me, so I just dropped down a bunch of them and I started swinging my sword while invis, and it worked out pretty well, and I was able to finish the game just by using invis and iron golems and distracting the opponent while I came down, knocked him into the iron golem wave, and that was a pretty easy victory for me. Hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.